Good morning on this very cold Friday morning. How's everyone doing today? Normally on Fridays, I work from home. And I'll teach my Engoo classes in the morning. If a VIP kid is booked, then I will teach that. But today I didn't have anything for VIP kid. I do have a VIP kid class this evening. It's the he's at level 7. I taught him earlier this week on Monday, and he was chatty. Let me tell you that, which is good. I like that. I'd rather them talk too much than to sit quietly when we're working with VIP kid. Now, if it's in a brick and mortar classroom, sometimes your chatty people can be a little too much. Let me turn my max heaters on here. So I have him tonight, and then I have him tomorrow night, same time, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I'm hoping that I get to keep his mother, or whoever booked him, I don't know, mother or father, LP or whoever. They booked him for several classes after we met the first time. So apparently, I guess either they liked it, or maybe I'm all that's left for them to choose from. So the pickings are slim, with people leaving to other jobs or going to the global platform. I get to have what's left on the regular platform, and I'm fine with that. It just means I get paid more than if they go to the global platform. And this person is on my here. Go. There was a person riding my tail, like right behind like real close, and I'm going 65. Well, now I'm going 75 in a construction zone that says 55, and they were like almost on my rear end. 10 years ago, I probably slammed my brakes and given them, made them pee themselves or rear end me, one of the two, or maybe both. But now I just want to get to work. I don't want to stop and have to deal with that crap. Just let them go. Anyway, I'm up early this morning because I'm getting, the last of my students who need to get their teaching observed. And so I'm heading to an elementary school to observe one of my students, teach a lesson. Because normally, again, I'd be at home, especially when it's cold. I'd be home when I'm warm, under a blanket, working from home. Doing Engoo until I had my meeting at noon, replying to emails, things of that nature. I'd forgotten to close some of my Engoo classes when this student scheduled this observation with him this morning. And so I had 3 classes I was going to have to cancel. One of them canceled, so I was able to close that slot. So I ended up only having to cancel 2 instead of 3. And again, I'm not going to be penalized for this because this is only my 3rd and 4th cancellation of this month, this pay period. And you can have, as long as you keep your cancellations under 4% for each pay period, and then you're fine. But there's still a penalty of I want to say 50 or 60 cents per cancellation. If they do the soft cancellation, they don't call it soft though, they call it something else. They call it cancellation without penalty or something like that. Then you're fine. But I think it'd be easier for me and less work just to accept the $1.20 that I'm giving away for canceling those. And it's definitely going to be because I've taught over 100 students this pay period. And so 4 divided by a number over 100, it's going to be less than 4%. The pay period ends on the 25th. So that's in the 25th. So I just got a little bit longer to go, and I don't have any other cancellations. But I've noticed with Engoo, my bookings have dropped. There are several reasons. One that I know for sure is because I had in this pay period, recently, I've had 3 students in a row give 4-star ratings. There seems to be a lot of that too. The number of people posting in the Facebook groups of Engoo Facebook groups have noted getting 4 stars from people. One even said that he said he noticed she had a 5-star rating, and then he chuckled, and then afterwards her rating went down because someone gave her a 4-star. and they don't tell you who did. If they don't comment, if they don't give you a comment, they don't tell you who gave you the 4-star. So we have students that do that there as well. They don't like the company, or they're being forced by their personal or their own place of employment to take these classes, and so they give you a 4-star. I had one lady. I have one 3-star. I think I've told you about her. She don't turn her camera on, so I don't know her facial reactions. And you don't have to turn your camera on. Well, you do. The tutor has to. The tutor has to turn their camera on. The student does not. But they just have to have a microphone. You know, you can't just have a class through chat. That was actually brought up in the Facebook group as well, as a student tried to do that. But she didn't have her camera on, which is fine, but I couldn't gauge her reaction with her nonverbal cues. The first time I had her twice. The first time I had her, she wanted to read the article. She wanted to skip the vocabulary, which is fine. That's a common request. We read the art. She wanted to read the article on her own. Again, that's a common request too, that they want to read on their own instead of repeating after their tutor. And after that, she said she didn't want us to do the discussion questions because they always give boring questions. So she wanted us to have a conversation about the article. Again, that's kind of an unusual request, but again, that's fine. I can do that. I can, if you know me, I can talk for days about anything. And she was very passionate and knowledgeable about politics. The article was about a recent prime minister being elected in Japan, and she was very opinionated about this election. And so she was able to teach me about some of the ins and outs of what's going on, because I don't know Japanese politics. And it worked well. Well, I had her again maybe 4 days to a week later, and the same article popped up. I was like, And so I said, well, we've already went over and discussed this article. We can discuss some more, or is there something else you'd like to discuss? And she was kind of, kind of abrupt, kind of brash. Well, you're the teacher, so you decide that, not me. I was like, okay, but, and I've learned to not just take it and let them, beat you up and down. I don't, you only get paid $5 a class. You're not going to speak to me like that. And so I just dished it back to her. I said, well, it's up to the tutor to decide what you want, and you chose the same articles before. And that makes it a little difficult to just, we can continue discussing, but my knowledge of Japanese politics is very limited. I wasn't rude to her, but I explained why I asked that question. What would you like for us to discuss today? And she goes, oh, well, I guess you're right. And so we just started, I can't remember what we discussed that day. I think she ended up saying, oh, well, we don't have to talk about politics. And so for 25 minutes, probably less than that, because she gave me a 3-star. I know it's her. She gave me a 3-star because if you refresh your profile afterwards, it'll let you know, it'll show you, they don't tell you you have there's no notification that you have a new star rating or a new comment. You just have to check on your own. And so I refreshed the screen like shortly after the class, and I noticed a 3-star popped up. And so I marked her name down as, if she ever pops up again, I'll cancel her, because she's just not worth the time and effort. If you message tutor support, they'll give you some kind of canned answer like, I'm sorry, we cannot reveal the student's name because it protects the privacy, and it assures the student that their rating is confidential if they choose to be confidential. Of course, you know me, I always argue back. How you expect us to improve if we don't know who gave us the 3-star rating? I want to know which class it was so that I can reflect and think what I did wrong so that I can improve myself. Usually I would say, stop with the canned responses. Please answer my question, as you would as a person. But I held back because I've learned tutor support with Engoo. They aren't the brightest bulbs in the box. So working with them with anything, and I'm not alone in that. I've noticed other people have the same issues with they just give canned responses. They're not consistent. A lot of them don't know what's going on really with them. They just kind of they're just taking guesses too. And so maybe they're not paid that well either, and they just are doing the best they can. But again, they're about as beneficial as a hemorrhoid. But I still like Engoo. It's just there's no support there for that. That being said, I think that was all in all that big spiel. I think that's one reason my bookings have gone down slightly, because I've now at a 4.95. I want to say, or 93. I can't remember. I've decided to. For a while there, I was just opening up that day, which meant I was getting new students often. Now I've opened it up ahead of time. I went back to opening my schedule up for the week, and each day I've noticed I'm getting more and more of my old regulars back. So that's helping me get some 5 stars back on my record, and eventually those ding-dongs who gave me 3-star and 4-star. I had the 1 3-star. Who gave me the 4 stars are going to be pushed out, and it won't even matter anymore. I think another reason my Engoo bookings have dropped slightly, not a lot, I'm still getting a considerable amount. I'd say I'm probably at 85 to 90% booking of what I had before, like, this pay period probably. I've noticed there's a large increase of tutors, and again, I'm a recent one too, so they're probably saying the same thing about me. When I started, there's a slight increase. They were happy to have you, but I've noticed, like, recently there's a huge increase of people who are now tutors. Those are the 2 main reasons why my bookings have dropped a little. My rating is slightly down, not a lot, just slightly, to I want to say 4.95. And then there are more tutors in the system, especially native tutors. Well, I'm getting close to where the traffic gets kind of busy, so I better focus mostly on that instead of, driving and speaking to a camera. I want to live to see tomorrow and not hurt anybody else in the process. All right, y'all have a good morning, good day. See you next time.